AP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, and Pride of the Jaguars, Fred Taylor, bring you highlights and analysis from today's game. Jaguars Postgame is brought to you by Baptist Health, Farah and Farah, and by Everbank. Now, to get things started, here's JP Shadrick.
And welcome in. It's Jaguars Postgame presented by Florida Home AC. Call Florida Home AC today, official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, Fred Taylor from the Hyundai Studios at Everbank Stadium after a Sunday Night Football loss for the Jags. 23-7 the final. Ravens get a victory to improve to 11-3. The Jaguars fall to 8-6 with the loss on Sunday night. And all Ravens most of the night, but missed opportunities for the Jaguars. Guys is the real big story in this game. They missed two field goals, a 50-yarder and a 55-yarder from McManus. Trevor Lawrence fumbled in the red zone. The play started at the 23-yard line. He fumbled at the 18-yard line going in. It was returned 17 yards. That set up a Baltimore touchdown. 10-0 Ravens led at that point. And then the Jaguars had the ball at the end of the first half. They hit the long ball to Zay Jones, 36 yards, ran up to the line, and then threw a pass short left inbounds. Tackled inbounds. The clock ran out. They had time to either spike it and maybe get two plays or throw it in the end zone or throw it into the stands and hit the popcorn vendor, whatever, and they didn't do any of that. And it was 10-0 at halftime. They finally hit the long play in the third quarter to Agnew, 65 yards, but another lost fumble from Trevor Lawrence later in the game, and it just was not clicking at all. The Jags unable to overcome all that. That is a long list of, and then you throw in the penalties, 3 false starts, 12 men on defense. It just adds to the list of things that head coach Doug Pederson has talked about for a couple weeks, Fred.
JP, you said it all, man. I don't know what else to say after that other than this team is very mediocre right now. Those mistakes are certainly the sign of a bad team. 4 of the 5 possessions in the first half, you have 2 missed field goals, the fumble, and the clock management right there before halftime. Third down miscues, a whole lot going on right there as well. Lack of ball security earlier in the game. On third down, you have overthrow by Trevor to Zay and Ridley. I don't know. Trevor has to play better. His decision-making is very questionable right now. He's not playing like a top 5 quarterback. This team is lost, in my opinion. They got to figure it out. I don't know how, but they got to go back to the drawing board and somehow figure it out.
Yeah, Fred makes a good point on some of the off-target throws because I don't know if we know what he was feeling. He was shaking that arm on that last drive. So, he ends up going over his last 5. I can't say that didn't have a major impact on it. For all we know, it did. But prior to that, Fred, I mean, he had some guys that he was just throwing it behind. Even on one of the third down conversions, he had to Evan Ingram. He had to reach way back behind him, a simple crossing pattern. And and you compound it, like the physical error of dropping the football when you're running with it on 3rd and 17 is inexplicable to me. You got to wrap that up. You're not going to get 17 the way that play is developing, but it's the decision with later to go with about 6 minutes left where fortunately the Jags defense stepped up and held them to a field goal, but you're getting pulled down and you're trying to make a play, and I understand your desire to make a play, but like they said on the broadcast, you just got to eat that ball and give yourself a chance to punt it away. But, again, fortunately the defense stepped up. But this was a mind-numbingly frustrating game, just with the self-inflicted errors. Give credit to the Ravens. They took advantage of them. They did what they had to do to win a football game. They didn't shoot themselves in the foot all night. But, man, that first half is like an instructional video waiting to be made on what not to do to put points on the board.
Yeah, a lot of times they say give credit to the Ravens for coming in here and winning. No, give credit to the Jags for making them look like they're really the number 1 seed. Could have easily been 12-10 at the half if they make those field goals.
Just with the
he
field
doesn't
goals,
fumble,
right?
Right, just with the field goals. Or at worst case, even on that fumble, it could have been 10-3. You come out in your first possession, defense holds, and then you go down, you score. Could have been a 10-10 ball game.
Even
after to start the second half.
With the missed 50-yarders, fine. You got the fumble, that's going to be 3, and the play at the end of the half, that's an automatic 3.
That's the clock. So
you
10-6 right there,
minimum.
right?
That's
then
the
you
worst
hold,
case
and then
scenario.
now it's 13-10. I mean, and that coulda, woulda, all that good stuff. Sure. It sounds great. This team deserves what they got. It's the second week in a row they've allowed tight ends to just kill them. No way you should allow tight ends to go for that much yardage and affect the game, the outcome. The run is non-existent. You don't even call the run. And Ridley has to be more consistent. He's not playing like a true number one right now, bobbling the ball, some drops here and there.
He was pretty good early in the game, though, it felt like. First half, I mean, he was getting into it a little bit.
Playmakers got to step up and make the plays when you're supposed to. That could have been a touchdown in the back of the end zone.
They kept showing
catch it on the first try. I thought it was a ball.
Well,
I didn't think he had possession.
It got hit, and it altered it so that But you're right. I mean, if you caught it clean immediately, sure. But
they kept showing it on NBC even after the fact.
Yeah, I think it was TD.
I think they had their official on there talking through it, is my guess, over and over again, because they had different angles a little later that we didn't see originally. That it looked like he got a knee in and had some control the very last second. But hey, they didn't call it, they didn't reverse it, and that's what it is.
So I'm like, there are thoughts playing in my mind, and I want to be cautious when I say it. But it seems that it's a trickle-down effect from the aggression that comes from the head coach and his style and his ability, that it seems that this team lacks situational awareness. I mean, you got the clock management play right there. You got Trevor, and ball security is big, but you have to understand, at all of my might, I have to take care of this ball. At worst case, we're going to get 3 right there. Every little deposit counts, and these guys got to start playing in that fashion. And then on the flip side of that, you say, no, we just got to go balls to the wall and make it happen, full effort. So that's why I say I want to be cautious in saying it, but situational awareness wins football games. It just adds up over the course of the game, and you put yourself in position to win. Yeah. That's just my 2 cents on that part.
Hey, the one that's the most glaring is the one right before half, though. I mean, they're running. They finally get the big play. I know it's a rush to get down there and everything, but that one slipped away.
You're still going to get 2 plays. You're still going to get 2 plays. If you clock it right there, it's 10 seconds. You got a shot at the end zone in the field goal.
Maybe 2 shots. Or
maybe 2 shots if it's the 4-second rule. Right, if it's the 4-second per play rule. But to throw a quick pass and it doesn't get out of bounds, then you just kill yourself altogether.
Because you're not gaining any yardage. There's
it's
no
first
yardage
and 5
advantage
from the 5.
Who
You
cares?
got to clock it right there.
Yeah, and even if you don't clock it, because they're clearly running up, it's a situation that they practice, right? And Trevor is signaling whatever he's doing, that we're going to go up there and we're going to snap this, and it's going to be a live play, but the ball has to go across the goal line. It has to be in the end zone, or if it's not there immediately, it's got to be out of the end zone.
Yeah, indeed. Plenty to get to. We're out to Bucky Brooks. He's down the hallway. Doug Pederson will visit with the media, and then he'll catch up with Bucky, and we'll get his thoughts on this loss tonight. The Ravens over the Jaguars, 23-7 the final score. Ravens now 11-3. The Jaguars now 8-6. 3 teams with an 8-6 record in the AFC South. The Jaguars are still in first via the tiebreakers over the Texans and the Colts. This is Jaguars Postgame on Jaguars Radio.
Everyone circle up. I know it looks rough out there. Sure, we're down 24-6, but we came here to play differently. We need a game changer. Something like Ring Central, the business phone system that's more than a phone. I want you to communicate like you can talk to anyone, anywhere, all from the same app. Now get out there and play like you're using Ring Central.
Ring Central. Simpler communications. As the official supermarket of the Jacksonville Jaguars, Publix is helping fans gear up for game day with the limited-time Jaguars sub. Piled high with hot deli chicken tenders, boar's head bacon, cheddar cheese, coleslaw, and barbecue mayonnaise on a white sub roll. The Jaguars sub is an easy, delicious meal for any fan. Make it an ultimate game day by ordering the Jaguars sub online for in-store pickup. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
And we're back with the action. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. With an irresistible taste and zero sugar, Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any sports fan. So make sure you... Wait, Jim, I didn't mean try it right now. We're still on the air.
Best Coke ever? Take a taste, Jen.
Really?
No, not right now, Jen. We got a game to call.
Maximize your energy savings with a new energy-efficient heating and cooling system from Florida Home Air Conditioning today. Get up to $1,750 back and a free Nest thermostat when Florida Home buys back your old inefficient HVAC system. Expert technicians and flexible payment options are great reasons to call Florida Home today. Florida Home Air Conditioning, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit FloridaHomeAC.com for details, terms, and conditions.
License number CMC 1250399, CFC 1430664, EC 130-08557.
FloridaHomeAC.com.
Jaguars postgame presented by Florida Home AC continues. JP Shadrick with Mike Dempsey and Fred Taylor from the Hyundai Studios at Everbank Stadium. Final score in Week 15 on Sunday Night Football, Ravens 23, Jaguars 7. The Ravens outrushing the Jags 251-75. Yeah, and it was one of those nights. Obviously, Lamar Jackson, 97 of those yards, but that still leaves a lot of yardage out there from Mitchell and Edwards. Mitchell had 73 on 9 carries. Gus Edwards, 58 yards on 16 carries and a touchdown. Hill added 5 for 23 for the Ravens. So, as usual, they spread the wealth with the other running backs. Mitchell left the game with a knee injury, didn't return. But we knew what Lamar could do. We knew what the rest of these running backs could do, and they did it. And they did it pretty much all night long. 251 rushing yards allowed from the Jaguars defense that, hey, we talked about it coming in. They always say it every week, and they will say it every week, and they made it a point of emphasis all season. They've done pretty well. Our number one priority is to stop the run, and they were unable to get that done on the defensive side tonight.
Yeah, I thought, look, Lamar is slippery, but I thought that – I probably need to go back and rewatch it to be sure, but it looked like even Foye, the most sure-handed of all the tacklers among the Jags, and one of the most in the league, I thought he missed several opportunities either to get Lamar or a running back on the ground. And Fred, on the other side, I can't see how this running game for the Jags is going to get any better. The personnel is the personnel in the offensive line, and right now they're just not moving people. And I think Travis Etienne's game, I thought he started out fantastic in the early going, but I don't know if it's the Ravens making adjustments or whatever the case may be, or the Jags is getting worn down on the offensive line. But if you can't run it and you're that one-dimensional, and now Trevor Lawrence, without Christian Kirk, I'm going to guess maybe without Zay Jones, you leave a game with a hamstring injury, it's going to be tough to come back next week. I mean, what do you do offensively to put points on the board right now?
It's a good question, Mike. I wish I knew. I'll call in and help him out. Travis, I think I tried him at 5 carries for 29 at a 5.8 clip in the first quarter. And by halftime, he had 7 for 27, and then everything kind of went downhill after that. They are lacking consistency. I don't know if it's a situation where they feel like they're playing too far from behind, which I don't think they are. I think they have a little bit more time to call a few more run plays in there, punt it, and try and play defense, and just kind of calm things down. But shuffling those linemen, not a lot of great communication in there. It leads to the inconsistency in the run game. Mike, I cannot answer your question.
Then I certainly can't.
I don't have a clue. And turning the ball over does not help that. Missing field goals does not help that. It frustrates the play caller. I'm at a loss. I don't have a clue. Yeah,
it's that time of year now. 3 games to go, and you're running out of time to find that clue. That's just what it is. Because points early in the season, this offense. You had your full arsenal. Kirk's out there, everybody's going. They ran the ball well against Buffalo, right, in London. That was when this offense was rolling. Okay, they were running the ball pretty well and balancing things out. But times have changed.
Yeah, I think something did just jump out. They were 3 for 13 on third down. You're not going to be able to run the ball if you have a third down efficiency rate at that. 2 for 7 in the first half and 1 for 6 on the back end when you need it most in the second half. So if you can't sustain and put together those chain drives and execute on third downs, then you're not going to be able to get comfortable and run and make more play calls in the run game. So I think if they can get better on third down, it gives them an opportunity to call more runs. But if they don't get better there, then we'll just have the same conversation each and every week about the run game.
There you have it. Final score tonight, 23-7. Ravens over the Jaguars. Bucky Brooks standing by down the hallway. He'll catch up with head coach Doug Pederson shortly after he visits with the media after this loss on Sunday Night Football to drop the Jaguars to 8-6 for the season. Baltimore now 11-3. The Ravens outran the Jaguars tonight 251-75 in this ball game. The quarterbacks were each the leading rushers for their teams. We mentioned Jackson's numbers, 12 for 97. But Trevor Lawrence, 4 for 41 yards in this game tonight, and that's far from enough. We've got plenty ahead. We're back in a moment. More reaction from this ball game tonight. Disappointing loss to the Jaguars on Sunday Night Football. And now a three-way tie atop the AFC South. The Jaguars have the tiebreakers for now in the division with a record of 8-6. This is Jaguars Postgame on the Jaguars Radio Network.
Something happens when you begin to believe. What seems way off in the distance gets closer.
You focus on what needs to get done, and you'll let nothing get in your way.
Next year becomes this year, and maybe next time becomes now.
A whole city will rally behind you and begin to believe too.
Because when you believe, the unbelievable can happen. We believe in justice for everyone, and we believe we're the attorneys to help people get it. Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jaguars. Jacksonville.
For us, treating cancer is personal. We're Baptist MD Anderson Cancer Center, and we know that every patient is unique. So you'll have a plan created by world-renowned doctors and tailored to your needs. And everyone here will support you every step of the way, so you're physically, emotionally, and spiritually strong for the journey. Don't face cancer with anything less than the team at Baptist MD Anderson. Locations in downtown, Baptist South, and Clay. Visit BaptistMDAnderson.com.
Want to be up close and personal with the Jaguars as they take the field? Here's your chance to be in the shadows, outside the Jaguars locker room, now called the Vault. Enter today at Jaguars.com/shadows. One winner a guest for every home game at Everbank Stadium. No purchase to enter or win, must be 18 or older and a legal resident of Florida or Georgia. Promotion period 9/5/23 through 12/15/23. For official rules and complete details, visit Jaguars.com/shadows. Sponsored by Jacksonville Jaguars, LLC.
Don't you mean fa la 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 la?
Nope, we're shaking things up.
Whatever you say.
Shake things up this season at the Toyotathon sales event. Lease a new 2024 Toyota RAV4 LE for $339 a month for 24 months, plus $500 holiday bonus cash. Toyota, let's go places. Offer valid through January 2nd, 2024. Well-qualified lessees with approved credit through Southeast Toyota Finance. 3638 due at signing. No security deposit with select equipment. $350 disposition fee. Excludes tax, tag, registration, title, and dealer fees. See dealer for details.
Jaguars postgame presented by Florida Home AC. Call Florida Home AC today, official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Final score, Ravens 23, Jaguars 7. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, Fred Taylor from the Hyundai Studios at Everbank Stadium. Well, the Jaguars fall on Sunday Night Football. It's an 8-6 record now for the Jaguars. 3 straight losses for this Jags team, and plenty to decipher and go through this game. Still, we're waiting on Doug Pederson to visit with the media still, taking his time to get down the hallway, and then he'll visit with Bucky Brooks. We'll have that conversation with Bucky coming up in just a little bit after this Jags loss. And let's go back to these missed opportunities early. And, you know, the 50 you can – McManus has been pretty darn reliable, even from long range in his career, not just in Jacksonville, right? But 50-yard plus, all right. Sometimes the first one drifts and hits the upright. No good. Second one was wide left and not close. from 55. It's 2 missed opportunities. The Lawrence fumble on his own in the red zone. I don't know, was the ball wet? I mean, it was a wet surface out there because of the rain for 2 days, Fred, but like he was almost trying to tuck it and just while he was trying to tuck it, lost the grip on it and fumbled it away. Nobody hit him.
Yeah, JP, I don't think it was a matter if it was wet or whatever. I think that was just a careless moment where he just kind of dribbled it out of his hands. And, McManus, those are tough kicks.
Yeah, they're 50-plus.
Tough kicks. There's some wind out there. Yeah. But you get paid to make them. It's hard to make excuse for him. You got to make those kicks, especially this time of the year when your team is dependent on you. And, again, even with those miscues you have, which I believe was the clock management, I think that's a coaching error. Which also just compounds everything and adds to it.
Is that in the headset? Obviously, the headset's on. Play caller can, he's running down the field. Hey, we're thinking about this, but we don't know. We don't know until Doug says it or
I don't
Trevor
know how much discretion they give the quarterback there, but it's a simple look to the sideline and, a clock it gesture. They can hear it in the hat too. Clock it, clock it, clock it. So communication has been an issue with this team. I think a week ago that was the case. But I think that's just a clock play. Looking at the time, you got to think Trevor has to know it's a
first
clock
down.
play.
You got, right.
I mean, it's 11 seconds.
And everything's scrambling, right? You clock it, you go to the huddle, you can call 2 plays. All right, we're going to go boom, quick hitter. If it's not there, I'm throwing it out so we can line up and get that second one in. And you get those chances under a more controlled environment. I mean, the only thing you can't do is get tackled in bounds. I mean, that is it, or other than turn it over outright. But, the one where 3rd and 17, man, he's got to protect that football and just lays it out there. You got to figure McManus is making that. And then, at the minimum, it should have been 6 points for the Jags. And it's a completely different feel if it's 10-6, the way the defense had played in the first half.
Yeah, Cam Newton, I'm not sure if you guys saw it, where he made the comments about difference makers and game managers. Like, you want your players, especially your quarterbacks, to be game managers. That's just knowing the situations. Even now, knowing that situation, the fumble there on 3rd and 17, the clock management right before the half, I think those are even bigger highlights than the missed field goals, because that's just those things happen, and those were tough kicks for McManus. I like game managers. I want a field general, someone who knows, how to put us in position to win. Every point count, and I think they've just been loose with those points, whether that's going for it, with 2-point conversions in certain situations, the calls before the half, the clock management play right here. We can look at several situations throughout the course of the year and say, well, yeah, Doug he's aggressive by nature, and that's how he's been. That's on one side of it. But then you go back and look at how many times that you put your team in position by using that aggression versus being a little bit more conservative. Not saying they were going to win if it had been the other way, but those plays stand out a bit more when you don't win.
Hey, just out of curiosity, what did you think about the non-call on running into the kicker on the first missed field goal with McManus?
Well, hit the upright.
Yeah, you got to call it.
You have to call that,
you got to call it. You would think they would call it at home, but because we have not been good at home, you think home field advantage you would get those type calls, but these refs, they have not been good. And in other games, they haven't been great.
It almost seemed like they got together and debated it for a while, too. Remember when they went to commercial break, we could see them on the in-house feed. The refs were together talking about that, and I don't know if they ruled that he was trying to sell it or whatever. He got hit. There's no question he got hit.
The kicking leg got hit. I don't think the plant – I
don't
know if it matters.
Leg.
It wasn't the plant leg, but either way, just kind of fell right after that. They didn't call it. They didn't put the hanky out.
I'd like to think McManus makes that from 45, but, again, who knows?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're trying to find answers tonight. There aren't many. That's the unfortunate part of a game like this.
Yeah, we can speculate and search, and we can also say, well, if he makes it, do they call it, or they just forget about it altogether like they did?
Right.
It's so much out there. Bottom line is this team has to not allow the refs to determine.
Yeah, you got to play better.
You got to play better because that's clearly it's 12 points. It's no way around it. That's 12 points, and this is a closer game, and it's a more competitive game if that's the case.
Final score tonight, 23-7, Ravens over the Jaguars on Sunday Night Football. The Ravens now 11-3. They have officially clinched a playoff berth. They are the number 1 seed at the moment, but they are officially in now after the win tonight. The Jaguars 8-6, and a lot of work to be done in the AFC South with 3 games to go. Plenty ahead. Doug Pederson still set to speak with the media. He's not made his way down the hallway as of yet. After that, he'll catch up with Bucky Brooks. We'll have that conversation for you right here. This is Jaguars Postgame on Jaguars Radio.
Maximize your energy savings with a new energy-efficient heating and cooling system from Florida Home Air Conditioning today. Get up to $1,750 back and a free Nest thermostat when Florida Home buys back your old inefficient HVAC system. Expert technicians and flexible payment options are great reasons to call Florida Home today. Florida Home Air Conditioning, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit FloridaHomeAC.com for details, terms, and conditions.
License number CMC 1250399, CFC 1430664, EC 130-08557.
FloridaHomeAC.com.
Hear that? That's the sound of the 2023 Chevy Silverado's 2.7-liter high-output turbo engine, delivering 430 pounds per foot of torque with no compromised durability. Impressive power, whether you're helping friends move or just moving some friends.
Thanks!
This is the sound of a family with plenty of rear seat room to enjoy the ride. And most importantly, this is the sound of you heading to your local Chevy dealer today for a test drive. Find your Silverado and find new roads. Chevrolet.
Imagine traveling to watch the Jaguars take on the Tennessee Titans in Nashville aboard a luxury private jet. Download the free Vaunt app at flyvaunt.com/Jags for your chance to win round-trip private flights, hotel stay, game tickets, and pregame field passes for you and 3 of your friends. When you become a Vaunt member, you can unlock the opportunity to fly private for an entire year for only $1,000. That's it. So download Vaunt at flyvaunt.com/Jags and discover a world of private jet travel today.
Frank Frangie here. When you want barbecue in Jacksonville, you want Bono's Pit Barbecue. You can find Bono's locations all around town and on game day at Everbank Stadium because Bono's is the official barbecue of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Over 70 years of authentic Southern Pit Barbecue. We are the local barbecue joint in BBQval for generations of people in Jacksonville. Go to bonosbarbecue.com to learn more or call 904-880-8310 today. And remember, if you don't see a pit, it ain't legit.
Brooks Rehabilitation is hiring nurses who want to be empowered as advocates, educators, care coordinators, and leaders in exceptional patient care. They have open RN, LPN, HHA, and CNA positions across their inpatient, skilled nursing, and home health care settings. Join their nationally recognized team, where you'll serve as a central team member doing what you do best, providing exceptional patient care. Apply at careers.brooksrehab.org.
Don't make a bad call when it comes to servicing your home. Cooling off with a baby pool in the house to fix your air conditioning problem is a bad call. Trying to catch a wave in a flooded bathroom is a bad call. Using a burning electrical panel to make s'mores is a bad call. The next time something goes wrong, make a good call to Donovan.
Whether you need air, electric, or plumbing service, Donovan is always a good call. It's why we've been trusted by our customers for almost 40 years and why you can trust us to deliver fast, reliable service to your home. Donovan, always a good call.
Visit DonovanAC.com today.
Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Jaguars radio network. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, and Fred Taylor from the Hyundai Studios at Everbank Stadium after a Jaguars loss on Sunday Night Football. Final score, Ravens 23, Jaguars 7. Bucky Brooks is down the hallway just outside of the Jaguars locker room. He'll catch up with head coach Doug Pederson after the Jags head coach visits with the media. That has not happened yet. And when Trevor Lawrence makes his way in, we will try to carry some of that press conference as well. But nothing as of yet. After a Jaguars loss and a lot of questions after this game, and what happened to the Jaguars on the offensive side. They've kind of lost some spark, obviously, and the defensive side giving up all the rushing yards tonight. It is time now, though, for the Kingfish Pest Control defensive play of the game. It is a Jaguars takeaway and a big moment for this Jags team in the first half, and it's Rayshawn Jenkins.
Play fake. Jackson rolls right. Pump fake. Now throws to the middle of the field. Ball picked off. Rayshawn Jenkins running it back to the 45-yard line. Terrific work. He broke on the ball. He picked it off. Rayshawn Jenkins runs it back to the Jaguars' 48-yard line.
Ray with the interception. That's the Kingfish Pest Control defensive play of the game. Let the pros tackle the pests in your home by going to kingfishpest.com. That's kingfishpest.com. And a veteran safety with a nice play there when the Ravens were on the move, and the Jags had just missed a 55-yard field goal, and they got the ball at their own 45 and a really good field position, but the Jags defense with that takeaway. Unfortunately, the Jaguars couldn't do anything with it. That next drive on the offense was the Trevor Lawrence fumble at the 18 going in, and gave away at least 3 points on that drive. So there you have it, the defensive play of the game. PRI Productions, the official event production company of the Jags, has everything you need to bring your next idea to life. Visit PRIProductions.com. All right, let's go through Trevor Lawrence's night again. This is going to be the number one story all week long, is the play of the quarterback in key moments of this game. And the numbers passing are 25 of 43, 264 through the air, a touchdown pass. That was the long one to Jamal Agnew, 83.9 rating. He ran 4 times for 41 yards. But as we talked about, it's the situational moments there, the fumble in the red zone going in, the lost fumble late in the game on the sack. But the end of half awareness situation. Now, who is that on? Well, the quarterback's pulling the trigger on throwing the ball. So at least start with that. Maybe we'll get some more knowledge as we hear from the coaches and things as the week goes along. But that's a full plate for the quarterback of mistakes in one night.
Yeah. Also, we talked about the inaccuracies, some of the overthrows.
Yeah, it just
couple
felt
of the,
off.
Right,
Right?
Throwing behind. It brings back into question that ankle. I mean, I know that was a big question a week ago in the Browns game, a couple overthrows, miscues here and there. That one skinny post miscue there to Ridley. I don't know about his plant leg. I was trying to scout it and watch it all night, but I just couldn't really figure it out because it doesn't seem like he's hurt all the time or he's favoring it because he's taking off and he's running. And you would kind of hesitate to question whether it's a plant, but he's just been a bit off since that ankle. I don't see him making the throws that he would usually make from a accuracy standpoint.
Of course, early in the year, the knee issue on the short week going into Thursday Night Football, there was a question whether he'd play or not. Of course, he played, and he was the leading rusher in that game. And then another short week coming off Monday Night Football to Cleveland with the high ankle sprain. And then in this game, Mike, as you mentioned earlier, later in the game, he's kind of twisted around and he's squeezing his right hand and trying to shake his arm. And even after that, it felt off.
And that's even like going to Fred's point about you don't really notice any ankle injury. I would think if it is bothering him, there'd be a moment or two when you'd get a wince, right? Like, he's toughing it out. And you don't see that throughout the game. And the inaccuracy is popping up. And as you said, Fred, now granted, adrenaline's a funny thing, and he's taking off and he's running for these first downs. But there's never been a moment tonight where I can recall that he seemed to be favoring the ankle at all, that it was impacting him. Again, I can't talk about those last 5 incompletions because he clearly was dealing with some kind of a stinger or whatever it was with the arm, and that could absolutely have affected his accuracy, but he had plenty of off-target throws, I thought, or just even some of the ones that were completed were higher degree of difficulties. He missed Evan Ingram fairly late in the game, but I think it was before the arm injury came.
And that was like a third down kind of a blitz situation.
Right.
It felt like he had maybe a little extra beat to hang in there and make a more accurate throw, at least from the television view in here again, right? So it's just that. I mean,
but you got to make it. I mean, you're a professional quarterback, and sometimes you got to stand in there and take the big shot, even if you want to get rid of it before the contact comes. Ingram was open. If he puts it between the 1 and the 7, you move the sticks. But, again, that's just one example of one of those off-the-target throws he had.
Yeah, even if he's not showing to favor, those injuries, the knee earlier on, the ankle most recently. It's still in his mental. If it's not a painful feeling that he's feeling, I think it's here. You're missing linemen. That's been an issue. You get some pressure. You mentioned that he could be trying to get the ball out a bit quicker, maybe not planning, setting with timing. It could be a variety of those sort of things, but completely we can all see that the inaccuracies are there.
And you have the 2 fumbles tonight, right? And they apparently on the broadcast said Trevor has the most fumbles of anybody in the league since he came in 2021, right? And you think this is an area, because it's one thing if you're taking a blindside hit and, the ball pops out, everybody understands that. But he had 9 as a rookie, he had 12 last year. This is 10 now with 3 games to play this year. And both of them tonight, one, he just dropped the ball. And the other one was just the decision as he's getting pulled down to try to make a what kind of play is he going to make?
Yeah, and they're questionable.
And I get the competitive drive, Fred. I mean, you want a guy who thinks he can make every single play out there, but at some point he's got to, as the guys on the broadcast were saying, you got to live to play another down with that and be able to punt that away and turn it over to your defense, who did step up and hold them to a field goal. But, at that point you put yourself down 16, you need 2 touchdowns with 2 2-point conversions. I mean, it's not impossible, but you're basically putting the final nail in the Jaguars' loss at that point.
Repetition, situations, repetition. The more you do it in those type moments, just like you talk to your children, right? You have to.
Doug, you talked about eliminating the BS earlier in the week. How disappointing was it to get into Ravens territory so many times and come away empty in the first half?
Yeah, that's the head scratcher. That's the frustrating part. Again, it just we can't get out of our way. And that's the frustrating part, because we do some really good things, and then it's a play or two here and there that keep us from scoring.
Doug, when you keep saying week after week the team's shooting itself in the foot and it's things that the team can control that are controllable mistakes, how frustrating is that?
It's extremely frustrating, because again, it's the pride of the team, right? It's the individual efforts, and there's great effort out there. It's just that we've got to be just ultra focused on doing our jobs, right, and doing their jobs, and the number one prized possession on the field is the football, and we got to do a better job of protecting it.
Doug, if you could just walk us through the final 30 seconds of the first half, the decision to, obviously the completion is A, and then the decision to immediately not spike the ball and throw it to Parker.
We're going to stay aggressive. We're going to, we've scored before in those situations. We had, it was just a mistake, I think, by Trevor, obviously knowing the situation, know how much time is left right there, and that's the one thing. It's a great learning experience for us from the standpoint of, don't throw it in bounds to be tackled in that situation. So we'll learn from that one, but just another great opportunity for us to try to get in the end zone.
To be clear, though, the plan, he was not going to spike it. It was to.
He was not going to spike it.
Defense, how did you feel like it played communication-wise? That was an issue the last couple of weeks. How did you feel?
I thought the defense really came to play. Kind of kept them down. Did some good things in the first half. Obviously, I think it was the third quarter. Baltimore did the Baltimore things, right? They began running the football, and those were the things that kind of, started to show up in the third quarter, and they rattled off a couple big runs. But I thought for the most part, defense kept us in the game, kept us close, and did some good things for us.
Not to belabor the point, but should Trevor be beyond making that kind of mistake right there at the end of the first half and throwing it in bounds at this point, year 3?
Can put it on us too, put it on us as coaches, coach that situation a little bit better.
When you saw the pass get completed, did you initially think in your mind spike, or did you initially think in your mind go, but just make sure you throw it?
Well, initially I was hoping, when you're anticipating that we'd get out of bounds, in that situation right there, you get to the sideline or you score. We did out-leverage the defense. They made a nice play, tackled him in bounds, but, when the pass was completed, I thought we had a good chance of getting to the front pylon.
They ended up running for about 250 yards. You guys were about 75 yards on the ground. Are you concerned at this stage with the physicality of the team in terms of running the ball, defending the run?
I don't think when you say physicality, what do you mean?
Well, it seems like you guys are losing in the trenches a lot now.
Yeah, you get beat, you get edged. Those are things that are going to happen, but we got to continue to just grind away and just figure out how to win a football game. Whether we're running it, throwing it, kicking it, it doesn't matter. Right now we're just not good enough to pull these games out against good football teams, and that's the honest truth. And until we figure that out, it's going to be rough. And so it's just a matter of continuing to work and taking your job serious and getting ready for another one next week.
Doug, in baseball, there's a state or a thing that says you're squeezing the bat too hard, trying too hard to impress. Do you sense that with this group, and how are they reacting with all this adversity at this point?
I don't see us pressing. I just think that it's a matter of we just have to understand that the number one thing out there is the football. We're pre-snap penalties in the football, and that's the one thing that's kind of plagued us all season. We're just giving points away, and it's hard. We're making it too hard.
On the subject of running the ball, seemed like you guys established Travis on the first few drives, got Dearness involved, Tank involved, and then you kind of went away from it. Did you go away from it because of it wasn't effective at some point?
No, I think too it was dependent, on what they were giving us defensively, with going in and out of their base defense, nickel defense, and taking advantage of some opportunities and putting the ball in the air and obviously we did some good things, throwing the ball, but then you fall behind and you have to put the ball in the air more.
Doug, how significant is Zay, the hamstring, do you know? And also, was Trevor okay on the last drive or two? It looked like he was shaking his arm a few times.
Zay, yeah, hamstring, I don't know the severity of it, but it looked bad, on the field. And so we'll have he'll be evaluated tonight and then tomorrow, so I'll probably have a better update for you. And then in Trevor's case, he was evaluated after the game, and he'll actually enter the protocol.
Hey, Coach, what's your confidence level in Brandon McManus right now?
It's still high. I'm still, he's a veteran kicker. He knows that, these last couple of weeks haven't been his best, and he had opportunities tonight to, score some points for us and keep us close. And I know he takes a lot of pride in that, and he'll work on it this week and be better for it.
Sorry, sorry. Clarification. Did you say concussion protocol for Trevor?
Yes.
Okay.
And did that happen on the run play? Do you know?
Or no? I think so. I'm not 100%, but I think so. Yeah.
Anybody else? All right. Thank you. Thanks, Coach. By league rule, Trevor can't talk tonight. One Trevor.
It's time for the Make the Holidays Bright sales event at your local Ford dealer. Get special offers on our adventure-ready Ford SUVs or on our great selection of Ford trucks. Choose from a large inventory of Ford vehicles equipped with technology, space, and flexibility for any season. And let Ford make the holidays bright, bringing everyone together. Visit your local Ford dealer today during the Make the Holidays Bright sales event.
Who will your child grow up to be?
Well, that depends on all of us. That's why, along with our groundbreaking medical care, Nemours Children's Health supports programs that address issues like food insecurity and the resources essential to learning. It's all part of creating a healthier future for all children, so they can grow up to be whoever they want to be. Nemours Children's Health, well beyond medicine.
As the official ticket marketplace of the Jacksonville Jaguars and the NFL, Ticketmaster has a wide selection of tickets available for every game. Whether you're cheering on the Jaguars at home or away, Ticketmaster has you covered. With Ticketmaster's interactive seat map, you'll get a 360-degree preview of your seat so you can make sure you've got the best view of those pivotal plays. Plus, the Ticketmaster app makes it easy to sell or transfer tickets if your plans change. And mobile tickets make getting in on game day a breeze. Find tickets today at Ticketmaster.com/Jaguars. That's Ticketmaster.com/Jaguars.
Jaguars postgame presented by Florida Home AC. Call Florida Home AC today, official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Final score on Sunday Night Football, Ravens 23, Jaguars 7. Missed opportunities. The Jags 0 for 3 in the red zone, a couple of missed field goals, and now a record of 8-6. And let's head down to the Everbank Vault where Bucky Brooks is standing by with head coach Doug Pederson.
Coach, thoughts on a disappointing loss tonight?
I think JP just summed it up. Missed opportunities in the red zone, missed field goals, pre-snap penalties, just things that are in a way kind of mind-boggling, for us to be this far in and we continue to put the ball on the ground and turn it over. We're just taking points off the board and we're just not giving ourselves a chance, and we're making it too hard.
Word came out about Trevor being in concussion protocol. You have anything on that at all?
No, he'll be in the protocol this week.
Okay, so Coach, trying to think big picture. Defensively, it appeared that the defense played well for most part in terms of stylistically, the kind of style of defense that you want to play. Is that an accurate assessment of like how you wanted them to play?
Yeah, they did. They came out and I thought the first half really kept us in the ball game. And played really well. Had a key, turnover in there, that really set the offense up for a possible score. And then come out in the third quarter and we got a nice stop to start the third. Offense goes down and scores, puts us right back in the ball game. I believe at 10-7, something like that. And then Baltimore just got a little head of steam with their run game and started doing some things and it just started to unravel at that point, for us. And then the turnovers came, some pre-snap penalties came offensively, and it just kind of got away from us. But I thought for the most part defensively really did a nice job and kept us in this game.
Another thing that you talked about in pregame, you talked about the special teams, like kind of being measured. Jamal Agnew comes back, has a couple big returns, kind of juiced up everything. So if your defense plays well, your special teams play well, normally it gives you an opportunity to win. How do you feel about the special teams performance?
Yeah, I thought the core units played well. I thought Logan punted the ball well. You're right. Jamal did a nice job, on the kick returns. Was really aggressive coming out. Made some big plays there. The two missed kicks, obviously we've missed a couple of kicks now here in the last couple of weeks that, it's right in his wheelhouse and, he's very capable of making those. But I thought special teams for the most part too did their part, tonight and well enough for us to win this game if we could. But, offense was the disappointing part.
So you've been around this thing for a long time, and like most teams, like you have the ebbs and flows of the season. How do you take a team where it is now and kind of show them how to rebuild their confidence going forward?
Just got to continue to just put our goals in front of us and show them that everything is still right for us to take. And that's what they have to understand is that, we haven't clinched anything. We haven't been crowned any AFC South, none of that. We still have to go play football, and we have to go win games. And we're on this 3-game skid right now at the wrong time of the season. It shouldn't be this way. And, it should be the other way. You should be, 2-1, 3-0, whatever, and you got momentum and steam. So we've got
we've got to kind of figure that out here in a short period of time. We're on the road this week. We're in Tampa, and they're red hot right now. They're playing extremely well, and we got on the road and got to go on the road and figure out a way to win.
Well, maybe we figure it out in practice, have a good performance next weekend.
We're going to have to. Thank you.
Head coach Doug Pederson with Bucky Brooks down the hallway. We are back in a moment with player of the game voting and the injury report presented by Baptist Health. And, of course, most notably in that conversation and in the press conference a moment ago, head coach Doug Pederson announcing that quarterback Trevor Lawrence has entered the NFL's concussion protocol. After tonight's game, he will not visit with the media tonight. We'll discuss when we come back, and this is Jaguars Postgame on Jaguars Radio.
Maximize your energy savings with a new energy-efficient heating and cooling system from Florida Home Air Conditioning today. Get up to $1,750 back and a free Nest thermostat when Florida Home buys back your old inefficient HVAC system. Expert technicians and flexible payment options are great reasons to call Florida Home today. Florida Home Air Conditioning, the official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Visit FloridaHomeAC.com for details, terms, and conditions.
License number CMC 1250399, CFC 1430664, EC 130-08557.
FloridaHomeAC.com.
If you're facing cancer, you want a dedicated team working for you. At Baptist MD Anderson Cancer Center, we only focus on cancer. And we partner with one of the largest cancer centers in the world. So you'll have a specialized treatment plan created by our experienced and highly trained oncologists and surgeons, collaborating with one of the country's leading cancer centers. Best of all, we're in North Florida with locations in downtown, Baptist South, and Clay. Appointments at BaptistMDAnderson.com.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey ham, melted cheddar and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Headquartered in Jacksonville, Florida, CSI Companies partners with leading organizations across the country to deliver workforce solutions. As a proud sponsor of your Jacksonville Jaguars, CSI crafts personalized operations to fuel the success of businesses, both big and small. Whether it's finding the right talent for a job or seamlessly managing a project from start to finish, CSI has over 3 decades of experience in getting the job done. This is your Workforce Solutions Reimagined. Visit CSICompanies.com.
Don't make a bad call when it comes to servicing your home. Cooling off with a baby pool in the house to fix your air conditioning problem is a bad call. Trying to catch a wave in a flooded bathroom is a bad call. Using a burning electrical panel to make s'mores is a bad call. The next time something goes wrong, make a good call to Donovan.
Whether you need air, electric, or plumbing service, Donovan is always a good call. It's why we've been trusted by our customers for almost 40 years and why you can trust us to deliver fast, reliable service to your home. Donovan, always a good call.
Visit DonovanAC.com today.
The game may be over, but the excitement is just beginning. The Jaguars played a great game, and J-Tech is proud to be part of a community that supports our team. But before we go, let's take a moment to talk about an important part of our community, tradesmen and women. J-Tech believes that everyone deserves the opportunity to learn valuable skills and build a successful career. They're proud to support the Jaguars and our community by offering high-quality trades education. Learn more at jtech.org. Jaguars postgame presented by Florida Home AC continues. JP Shadrick with Mike Dempsey and Fred Taylor from the Hyundai Studios at Everbank Stadium after a Jaguars loss to the Ravens 23-7 on Sunday Night Football. The Ravens 11-3. The Jaguars now 8-6, three-way tie atop the AFC South. The Jaguars have the tiebreakers over the Texans and the Colts, and 3 games to go now in this regular season. Time now for the injury report presented by Baptist Health and the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute, the official sports medicine provider of the Jacksonville Jaguars. And at the end of Doug Pederson's press conference, he announced that Trevor Lawrence is in concussion protocol. And due to the NFL rule with that, he is unable to speak with the media tonight. Did not have any additional information when Bucky asked him about it just a moment ago. that, obviously, Fred, is priority number one. The quarterback's in the protocol. He's holding his hand all night. He's got the high ankle issue he had played through, the left knee earlier in the season. There's a lot going on with Trevor physically.
Yeah, this team will not go without Trevor. So it's very important that he is healthy. We don't know what's going on. Obviously, you have to use caution by putting him in the protocol or in the concussion protocol. Got a lot of issues going on with injuries, guys in and out of the lineup. Here you have the quarterback out. So there's a lot of big question marks, a lot of red flags. You got to play a Tampa team who's won 3 in a row, yet you still have to find a way to win. I believe at bare minimum 2 of the next 3. You would think.
I mean, yeah,
you want to win them all, but at least 2 of the next 3.
The Texans are going to play each other.
That's
right. So that cancel out one.
And Indy's also got Vegas, which any given week you have no idea how good Vegas is. I mean, I think they're the more dangerous team, honestly, right now. They're a little bit more complete because Houston's been beaten up. But I agree with you, Fred. I think you're going to have to win 2 out of 3, and probably one of them has to be that Tennessee game.
I don't remember exactly when the Trevor might have happened. Late in the game, right?
It was pretty late in the game. I'm trying to recall the exact instance. He got slung around on, I think he got rid of the ball, and he was in the ground, or it might have even been a sack, but he got slung down to the ground. And I remember saying it at the time, side of his head bounced hard off the turf, but there was never any wobble in his walk. There was never any, and we're not hearing the TV broadcast, so we don't know if anything was said at the time, but there was no indication that he had any ill effects of it. But I definitely remember a moment of, if we go back and watch it, you'll see his head got slammed pretty hard into the ground tonight.
Some other things in the game tonight. Well, Zay Jones in the fourth quarter, a left hamstring it looked like, and kind of was running down the sideline and reached back there. And that's not a good sign for a wide receiver, certainly, who's already had a knee injury on the other side.
Yeah, just that's one of the more trickier injuries that anybody can have is that hamstring. 1 minute you feel that you can go, and then the next minute, boom, it re-aggravates itself. And Zay is a big part of the offense. I know he hadn't been – there's been some inconsistency in his play being out there this year or his availability, but I think that he had been coming on, and I hope it's not a big issue. Because if that's a big issue, then they have bigger issues because they already know Christian Kirk. You're struggling to run the ball. It's so many changes in the offensive line there. And without Zay, you kind of lose a lot.
We're back in a moment. Player of the game voting, and we'll wrap it up when we come back after a 23-7 loss for the Jaguars to the Baltimore Ravens. And this is Jaguars Postgame on the Jaguars Radio Network.
Want to be up close and personal with the Jaguars as they take the field? Here's your chance to be in the shadows, outside the Jaguars locker room, now called the Vault. Enter today at jaguars.com/shadows. One winner and guest for every home game at Everbank Stadium. No purchase to enter or win, must be 18 or older and a legal resident of Florida or Georgia. Promotion period 9/5/23 through 12/15/23. For official rules and complete details, visit jaguars.com/shadows. Sponsored by Jacksonville Jaguars, LLC.
La-fa-fa-fa-fa-fa-fa-fa.
Don't you mean fa-la-la-la-la-la-la-la-la?
Nope, we're shaking things up.
Whatever you say.
Shake things up this season at the Toyotathon sales event.
Lease a new 2024 Toyota RAV4 LE for $339 a month for 24 months, plus $500 holiday bonus cash. Toyota, let's go places. Offer valid through January 2nd, 2024. Well-qualified lessees with approved credit through Southeast Toyota Finance. 3638 due at signing. No security deposit with select equipment. $350 disposition fee. Excludes tax, tag, registration, title, and dealer fees. See dealer for details.
Something happens when you begin to believe. What seems way off in the distance gets closer.
You focus on what needs to get done, and you'll let nothing get in your way.
Next year becomes this year, and maybe next time becomes now. A whole city will rally behind you and begin to believe too.
Because when you believe, the unbelievable can happen. We believe in justice for everyone, and we believe we're the attorneys to help people get it. Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jaguars. Jacksonville.
For us, treating cancer is personal. We're Baptist MD Anderson Cancer Center, and we know that every patient is unique. So you'll have a plan created by world-renowned doctors and tailored to your needs. And everyone here will support you every step of the way, so you're physically, emotionally, and spiritually strong for the journey. Don't face cancer with anything less than the team at Baptist MD Anderson. Locations in downtown, Baptist South, and Clay. Visit BaptistMDAnderson.com.
Jaguars postgame presented by Florida Home AC. Call Florida Home AC today. Official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, Fred Taylor from the Hyundai Studios. And we wrap it up tonight with a Jaguars Radio Network Player of the Game voting. I get a vote. Mike gets a vote. Fred Taylor gets a vote. I'm going to guess this will be unanimous tonight. Even in a losing effort. I'll get it started, though. Maybe I'll set the tone. Jamal Agnew returned from the injury list, had a shoulder issue that kept him on the shelf for a little while. His window opened this week, and it closed quickly when he was activated and ready to go. And his performance tonight included the long touchdown, the only Jaguars touchdown in the game, 65 yards. But his return game was strong as well. Agnew with a 17-yard punt return, 3 kickoff returns for 91 yards total, an average of 30 and change, a long of 38. So his presence was felt tonight. That's my vote.
Yeah, I'll back you up on that. Sorry to take the vote away from Fred, at least the decision. But I think Rayshon Jenkins deserves an honorable mention with the interception and the sack. And so big plays from him tonight. But look, Agnew, over 30 yards on the kickoffs, like you said, 17 on the one punt. He was the leading receiver. He's the only guy who scored a touchdown for the Jags. And where would they have been without Jamal Agnew coming back in this football game? So absolutely agree with you, JP. What about you, Freddie?
Yeah, it's a clean sweep. You guys did a good job of detailing it. I'm going to go with Jamal Agnew.
All right, so that's the Jaguars Radio Network Player of the Game. If you're looking for the MVP of the truck game, look no further than Ford F-150, loaded with impressive capabilities and designed to dominate work, play, and everything in between. This truck makes tough look easy. Your local Ford dealer, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now next week, Christmas Eve, Raymond James Stadium, Tampa. The Buccaneers, first-place team in the NFC South, entertain the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Bucs win today. They are 7-7, tied with New Orleans with the same 7-7 record. But the Buccaneers hold the head-to-head tiebreaker and a better division record as well over New Orleans. So they're in it. They need it. Tampa Bay's playing some good football right now, good enough to be in first place, and it's another battle of first-place teams and teams that are tied atop their divisions next week, and can't go to rest on this one. This is all these injuries piling up for the Jaguars. Offense having some issues. This is a tough one on the road all of a sudden.
Huge. Absolutely. I mean, nearing must-win territory. It's the strangest feeling, Fred. I don't know if I've ever felt this way about a team that's in first place, and I feel like they're chasing the other teams in the division right now, and they're the one that is still in first based on the tiebreakers, right? You've swept the Colts this year. You split with the Texans, but I just that's how I feel. I feel like this is the team that is in the most trouble, even though they're the one that's currently controlling everything.
I mean, Mike, but you got so much, time on the books. You understand the game. You've been around it. You study the game. The NFL has always been about when do you get hot. Like the hot teams this time of the year.
Right.
And when you look at the Jaguars team, the makeup, they've dropped 3. And the injuries, we don't know what's going on up front. They're not running the ball. Everything they say you're supposed to do to kind of trend in the right direction, they're doing the totally opposite out there on the field, and it's equating to their win-loss columns. They got to win 2 out of the last 3. I guess we would say win 1 first.
Just win,
let's
win
Sunday.
start
with 1.
Tampa's not a good team. I'm going to keep it real with you. Tampa's not a good team. You go and harass Baker Mayfield, you win the game.
Here are the remaining schedules for the Colts and the Texans. Let's start with the Colts. They are at the Falcons on Christmas Eve. They had an inexplicable loss today in Carolina. The Raiders at the Colts on New Year's Eve. And then the Texans and Colts meet on the final weekend of the regular season. For the Texans, their final games, Browns in Houston on Christmas Eve, Titans against the Texans on New Year's Eve, and then Texans-Colts to wrap it up. Of course, the Jaguars with the Bucs on the road. The Panthers here on New Year's Eve, and then on the road in Nashville to close it out against the Titans. So, hey, handle this. The Jaguars still control it. Win them all, and you're in, no matter what happens with the rest of these teams, because you have the tiebreakers.
Like you said, just win next week.
Just win that.
That's all you can even possibly think about.
Start with one. Fred, have a great week. Happy holidays. See
Thank
and
you,
the family.
guys. Appreciate it, man.
We'll talk
Happy
to you
holidays.
Before Christmas, but
Mhm.
we'll do it again next week down in Tampa.
Got to get a win.
Got to get a win. That's for sure. That's Fred Taylor. And for those in our flagship station in Jacksonville, stick around on 1010XL. The Scoreboard Show is next with your calls, and I'm sure there will be some tonight after a 23-7 loss to the Baltimore Ravens on Sunday Night Football. That'll do it for Jaguars Postgame on the Jaguars Radio Network.
Welcome to the Jaguars Scoreboard Show. This is your chance, Jaguars fans, to sound off about today's game. Now, waiting to hear from you, here are Mike Dempsey, Bucky Brooks, and JP Shadrick.
Welcome in, Scoreboard Show on Jaguars Radio, 355-NFL-1, the number 355-6351 after a Jaguars loss to the Ravens, 23-7 on Sunday Night Football for the first time in forever, 15 years. 2008, last time the Jags played on Sunday night. And tonight, only one touchdown to show for it. 0 for 3 in the red zone, missed 2 field goals, turned the ball over a couple times from the quarterback, and he's in concussion protocol after the game. That's the kind of night it was here at the bank. Mike.
Yeah, look, they lost a couple in the last 2 weeks prior to this where play here, play there could have changed the outcome of those games. This one, to me, was much more frustrating. It just was watching that first half, pulling our hair out, JP, what little that you and I have between us.
That didn't take long.
I mean, seriously, though, yeah, the 2 missed field goals, and we've detailed it all. The fumble where nobody touches you, and it's the thing I can't get over on that one. It's 3rd and 17. It's not like it's one thing. All right, you're giving that crazy extra effort because it's 3rd and 4. And you can see the line inside. Trevor Lawrence is going to pick up 5, maybe 8 yards on that play. Had no chance to get the first down. Only thing you can't do is turn it over, and he didn't even get touched. And
the snap was at the 23-yard line. It was touched at the 18. So that's a
5-yard gain.
Yeah.
Right? He wasn't going to he had nowhere near a lane to get a first down. And that's at that point you figure, all right, you know what? You get the 3. McManus gets back on track. You get a few points on the board. And then the end of the half was just unconscionable, man. You hit the big play. You run down. You're doing everything right. You're getting everybody up. And clearly they have practiced this because he's signaling to the team as he's running, making sure everybody's on the same page. We're going to go, 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 go. I don't even hate that part of the decision as much as I hate the decision to throw it in the field of play.
The 3-yard line, not even at the boundary at the 3.
To your smallest guy. What do you expect Parker Washington to do? Just bulldoze the man into the end zone. I don't know if he thought he was catching him napping, but, the Ravens are a well-coached team. He was covered. He was there the whole time. You see that. You take one glance. You throw it over Parker Washington's head. Then you get in the huddle, and you come up with your best play to try to get that touchdown. At the very least, you have to walk away with 3 points right there and break the seal, and then you're only down 10-3, and it's not that big a deal. But none of that happened in the Jags' favor. And then, as has been the case lately, the run game, which had a little sign of life in the first quarter, just got progressively worse as the night went on. And, at this point, they're almost – look, I understand you got to keep the other team honest, but they're just what did Travis Etienne have, 4 yards rushing in the second half? That brings his total in the last 2 games up to -3 in the second half of these 2 football games.
How about that?
That's, you can't. expect to win in the NFL. If you can't run it at all, you're now down potentially your top 2 receivers. Like you said, quarterback in the concussion protocol. Defense kind of played really good in the first half, and as Doug Pederson said, they kind of reached a tipping point with that run game, and they started to click, and you look up and you're giving up well over 200 yards on the ground, even with Lamar Jackson factored in. You take him out, and they gave up way too much on the ground tonight. By the way, Keaton Mitchell, Harbaugh confirmed in the postgame, done for the season.
Oh, man.
So,
that was a bad one.
Tough for him, but
certainly was. 355-NFL-1, the number, 355-6351. Bucky Brooks with us now. This is a pretty damn bad night at the ballpark.
A little bit. Ready for the smoke, though. It's a real interesting deal, kind of being field level, kind of watch it all unfold. I think Doug Pederson kind of confirmed, like, defensively, this is the style of play that they wanted. It's the style, bend but don't break, concede yards between the 20s, make them kick field goals and those things. The offense didn't cooperate in the complementary football strategy because missed field goals, missed opportunities in the red zone, and too many turnovers. And when you do those things, you have a tough time winning. And so until the Jaguars kind of fix the self-inflicted mistakes, they're going to have a tough time winning against top teams.
Phone lines are open. 355-NFL-1, the number, 355-6351. We will take your calls and much more ahead. It's the Scoreboard Show on Jaguars Radio.
Tackle your marketing needs with Kessler Creative. Providing direct mail services for more than a decade, Kessler has a wide range of services from small mailers to large banners and signs. Draft Kessler as your first pick to receive the best targeted mail list. Elevate your business and be on the winning team with Kessler Creative. Kessler Creative, results-driven marketing and proud partner of your Jacksonville Jaguars.
Hey Jaguars fans, are you tired of being late to the game because you're stuck in traffic looking for a parking space? Well, join the thousands of other Jags fans who already know the smartest way to get to Everbank Field is on JTA's Game Day Express. Shuttles run from 5 locations around Jacksonville. Passes start at $10 and are available exclusively on the MyJTA mobile app. Visit JTAFLA.com for full details. The JTA Game Day Express, where you're winning before the game even starts. Your Game Day Express is sponsored by the Jacksonville Zoo and Gardens.
Touchdown at Jaguars away games when you fly nonstop from Jacksonville International Airport. Join the Jaguars in New Orleans and Pittsburgh. Watch them win in Houston and Nashville. All the other Jaguars games are just one short connection away. And if airport parking has you stressed, be sure to visit the Jax Airport website before traveling to the terminal. On it, you'll find information about the status of on-airport parking in real time. See if your favorite areas are available or if you need to call an audible. Visit flyjax.com for more information.
Calling all Jags fans. Is your little one ready to become a junior Jaguar? Now through January 2nd, MyGate rewards loyalty members who buy 2 20-ounce Coca-Cola participating products will be entered to win one of 10 behind-the-scenes experiences at Everbank Stadium for your child. Plus, you'll earn a 10-cent rollback at the pump, a win every time. Fuel your child's dreams, your car, and your passion for the Jags with Gate, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
When it comes to water, choose our team, the winning team. Choose CGC Water Treatment. CGC Water Treatment works, and it works for DG too, former Jags QB, David Garrard.
If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. Discover the Kinetico difference.
Call CGC Water Treatment at 844-CGC-JAGS or visit cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars and your local independent Kinetico dealers.
As the official supermarket of the Jacksonville Jaguars, Publix is helping fans gear up for game day with the limited-time Jaguars sub. Piled high with hot deli chicken tenders, boar's head bacon, cheddar cheese, coleslaw, and barbecue mayonnaise on a white sub roll. The Jaguars sub is an easy, delicious meal for any fan. Make it an ultimate game day by ordering the Jaguars sub online for in-store pickup. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
The Jaguars Scoreboard Show. Scoreboard Show continues right now.
Welcome back. Scoreboard Show continues from the Hyundai Studios at Everbank Stadium. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, Bucky Brooks, and your calls. 355-NFL-1, 355-6351. Was a packed house at the bank tonight. I'm sure some people are still out on the roads heading home after this one.
We got packed phone lines, so let's get right to it. Starting with Rick in Nocatee. Rick, you're on the Scoreboard Show. Go ahead.
Hey, GP. How's it going this evening? Merry Christmas to you guys.
Hey, too.
It's twofold for me, right? So, like, with T-Law, like, in one breath, I'm like, what are you doing, right? Like, there's so many short passes, short throws, but then, like Freddie T was talking about earlier, maybe there's some things going on where he's not himself. He's not 100%. Right? So I just want to get y'all's thoughts on, where this is going to go, because we have 3 games coming up. You got to go 2-1 at least with those. So I'm interested to hear what you guys think about that.
Yeah, thanks for the phone call tonight. I mean, this is part of it is the decision-making in those key moments. Part of it is hanging on to the football when you're running free and just let it slip out of your hand. And obviously part of it now is the health too. I mean, that's been a problem for the last few weeks, the knee and now the ankle, and now he's in concussion protocol. So all that combined is, and we've been talking all season. It's been talk, I'm sure, in your show, Mike and Bucky, I'm sure you've heard about this even out in L.A. Like, after this season is when you can start negotiating the new big contract and everything, right? So that's where the state of affairs right now with the quarterback. All this is going on. It's not going well right now. Yes, he can turn things around if he's healthy enough to be on the field this week. But tonight was not that night. This was on full display tonight. Red zone issues, mistakes, fumbles right before halftime. So Bucky, where are you with the quarterback overall?
He hasn't played great. Right, he hasn't played great. I admire his toughness and his resilience, his ability to continue to show up each and every week, but he hasn't played well. And sometimes injuries can compromise that. Like, I don't know how he feels with the ankle and some of the other things that he's dealing with, but he hasn't played at a level that you would want him to play at, like a top 5 level. And when he's not playing well, I've heard you guys talk about it, there's not another vehicle for this offense to go to. Normally, if your quarterback is struggling, you lean a little more into the running game, or you do the screen game, or some of those other things. But the other aspects of the team, of that unit, aren't working well. And so it's a lot of Trevor Lawrence has to do everything. And if he's off the mark, if he doesn't bring his A game, this offense sputters. And so it's not only an indictment on his play, but it's an indictment on the play of the rest of the unit. And, you just got to figure it out, because it's not going to get easier without Zay Jones potentially. You don't have Christian Kirk. Like, you're talking about Calvin Ridley, Evan Ingram, and then a host of young players trying to figure it out. Not necessarily a recipe for success.
No, and look, I don't know if he's still bothered at all by the ankle. You couldn't see it if he is, and I don't think that's an excuse for dropping the football. Mm-hmm. I don't think it's an excuse for deciding to throw it inbounds with 11 seconds left, with no timeouts left. And the decision to try to force something when he's getting dragged to the ground when you're down 13 and you're just turning the ball right over to the Ravens. So I'll give him obviously a big pass on the down the stretch, right? The inaccuracy down the stretch. And we found out he's in the concussion protocol. And he also was dealing with some kind of an arm stinger. So totally understand that. But it's look, I mentioned earlier on the broadcast, it wasn't that Trevor has the most fumbles in the league in the last 3 years. He has the second most. He has the most lost fumbles by a massive margin. He's lost 20 fumbles. The next most is Jared Goff at 14. I mean, that's a big gap just down to number 2. So this has been an ongoing thing with his ball security, with hanging on to the football more so. He gets on those binges, Buck, where he'll throw 2-3 picks, and you're like, he just kind of gets in that rhythm where they compound each other like we saw in the playoffs, but he was able to overcome that. But it's the sloppiness with the ball in the pocket has been an issue really since he's gotten here, and it showed up again tonight.
Yeah, it's a huge issue, and it's one of the things you have to value the ball more than anything else. It's the number one deciding factor whether you win or lose games in terms of turnovers. He has to do a better job of taking care of the ball. And you're right, he's been in the pocket. He's made poor decisions when it comes to throwing it, taking care of it, securing it, understand when the down is over. I will say this. What happens when your team loses games, everyone has a tendency to try and do too much. And right now what Trevor's doing, he's trying to do too much. He just has to let the game come to him, play it out like it's supposed to play out, and hopefully they will execute at a high enough level they can pull themselves out of this rut.
That's exactly what he did. I mean, that Logman and Baselli were really just pounding home the point, like, hey, eat it. You got to eat it there with 6 minutes left. Punt it. Your defense is still, giving you a chance. You're down 16. They gave you a chance there, but the idea that you've scored 7, now we're going to get 16 in the last 4.5 minutes is probably pretty unlikely. All right, Rick, thank you for the call. Let's go next to Kay, who's calling from downtown here on the Scoreboard Show. What's up, Kay?
Hi, how you doing, Mike? So a concussion obviously is a serious thing. We don't want this stuff to just start piling up, compile like that. I think that it's best next week, this weekend coming up, to go with C.J. Beathard, let Trevor just fully recover, and then he could just play the final 2 games of the season. I believe that Todd Bowles, he knows this defense, and I think that he's going to get with the OC, and they're going to pull out some nice little wrinkles here and there. And remember, they got a Hall of Fame wide receiver. They still got some leftovers from the Super Bowl year. So I think they might try to take some shots at Trevor, and next thing you know, it's a bad deal. But one thing you said was with these fumbles, so far, total, Trevor has, 20 turnovers now, 10 fumbles and 10 INTs. And then one last thing I want to say is that I started to do some research, and if Trevor doesn't start to pick it up in the next 2 years, he's starting to look like the modern-day Jeff George. I just wanted to say that.
Appreciate the call. If he clears the protocol, he's playing. If his arm is fine after the stinger, he's going to play. If his high ankle sprain is probably still there, he played through it tonight, right? I mean, if you're healthy enough to clear the protocols of whatever injury you're dealing with or injuries, especially in this playoff push when there's a 3-way tie and these teams are nipping at your heels with 3 games to go, if he clears that protocol, Bucky, he's playing.
Yeah, he's going to play. And that's what franchise quarterbacks do. They show up when called upon. And so if he's able to clear concussion protocol, I would expect to see number 16 suit up for them. C.J. Beathard has to get ready. He'll get all the reps in practice. They have to have a game plan ready for him if he has to play. But more importantly, this team has to take on a mindset and a mentality that no matter what, no one cares. Whoever's out there, they got to line it up, and they're going to tee the ball up at 4 o'clock next Sunday, and they got to be ready to play, and they got to be ready to win, because the Texans aren't going anywhere and the Colts aren't going anywhere. And if they're going to go to the postseason, they need to win it out.
Yeah, and I think he's light years beyond what Jeff George ever was. I mean, looking at George's numbers in the first few years, started 5-7, fell off to 1-15 in his second year with Indianapolis. Had a 2-9. Yeah. Anyway, no, I'm not going down that road, but. Nevertheless, hasn't been good.
But didn't he have a massive arm, huge,
he had
deep ball?
He did. I played with him. I played with
Jeff
him.
George might have the tightest spiral the NFL's seen.
Yeah, one of the most talented quarterbacks that you ever seen in terms of just being able to throw it, but didn't necessarily jibe when it came to the rest of the team. That's why it couldn't necessarily win a game. I don't think see Trevor in that light. Trevor's talented.
Golden arm, though. I mean, he and Warren Moon probably threw the 2 tightest spirals in my football watching lifetime.
You just have to watch him just sling it. I think did he throw to Randy Moss a little bit? I think he had 1 year with Randy Moss. I think where he
maybe in Oakland. Yeah.
But no, he could spin it for sure.
Got a sweet mullet too. Right?
If
I remember
mullet.
right. Yeah.
Old school mullet. Yeah.
Back in a moment. The 355-NFL1, the number 355-6351 after a Jaguars loss 23-7. This is the Scoreboard Show on Jaguars Radio.
Facing cancer takes a lot of determination, strength, and support. And you'll get it all at Baptist MD Anderson Cancer Center. Determination from world-renowned doctors, giving you specialized treatment with cutting-edge technology and research. Strength and support from a dedicated team, caring for you completely, during and after treatment. Don't face cancer with anything less than the team at Baptist MD Anderson. Appointments available at BaptistMDAnderson.com.
As the official ticket marketplace of the Jacksonville Jaguars and the NFL, Ticketmaster has a wide selection of tickets available for every game. Whether you're cheering on the Jaguars at home or away, Ticketmaster has you covered. With Ticketmaster's interactive seat map, you'll get a 360-degree preview of your seat so you can make sure you've got the best view of those pivotal plays. Plus, the Ticketmaster app makes it easy to sell or transfer tickets if your plans change. And mobile tickets make getting in on game day a breeze. Find tickets today at Ticketmaster.com/Jaguars. That's Ticketmaster.com/Jaguars. Restaurant Orsay is a bustling French-American bistro focusing on classic French techniques with their chefs incorporating a traditional Southern influence. Celebrate life's special moments or just relax and enjoy their daily happy hour, weekend brunch, and nightcap on Friday and Saturdays from 10 until midnight. Restaurant Orsay, located in historic Avondale, 3630 Park Street. Visit www.restaurantorsay.com.
As the official supermarket of the Jacksonville Jaguars, Publix is helping fans gear up for game day with the limited-time Jaguars sub. Piled high with hot deli chicken tenders, boar's head bacon, cheddar cheese, coleslaw, and barbecue mayonnaise on a white sub roll. The Jaguars sub is an easy, delicious meal for any fan. Make it an ultimate game day by ordering the Jaguars sub online for in-store pickup. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Imagine traveling to watch the Jaguars take on the Tennessee Titans in Nashville aboard a luxury private jet. Download the free Vaunt app at flyvaunt.com/Jags for your chance to win round-trip private flights, hotel stay, game tickets, and pregame field passes for you and 3 of your friends. When you become a Vaunt member, you can unlock the opportunity to fly private for an entire year for only $1,000. That's it. So download Vaunt at flyvaunt.com/Jags and discover a world of private jet travel today.
Jaguars fans, huddle up. Do you own a vehicle made in the last 10 years? If your car is outside of factory warranty or with no warranty coverage, get the best defense against expensive auto repairs with CarShield, the official auto protection partner of the Jaguars. With plans to fit every budget, CarShield helps you cover up to 5,000 parts and systems. Call 800-471-1223 now or go to carshield.com/Jaguars. That's 800-471-1223 or go to carshield.com/Jaguars. Go Jags!
The Jaguars Scoreboard Show. Scoreboard Show continues right now.
We're back. The Scoreboard Show continues. 355-NFL-1, 355-6351. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, Bucky Brooks from the Hyundai Studios, recapping 23-7. Ravens over the Jaguars. What you got?
All right, I've got Tony in his vehicle, who is somewhere departing the stadium, or at least recently was. Tony, you're on the Scoreboard Show. Go ahead, please.
Yes, I have departed the stadium, 40 minutes in a parking lot that I will not park in again, but nevertheless, on my way out. Listen, yeah, we left some points on the board for sure. Missed field goals, obviously. Quarterback play wasn't the best, but I'll tell you, watching Lamar Jackson scramble in the pocket and out of the pocket, making plays with his feet, was like watching Allen Iverson with a helmet on. That was impressive to see. A very special talent that he is. And just pretty amazing to see him play the way that he did. So, tough loss, but nevertheless, I think overall they were just a better team. And we got to respect it. We're not at that level yet, and we just got to close it out with these last 3 games.
Appreciate the call. Good luck getting out of the parking lot. Hope it was fun before the game, at least tonight. But it just seems so effortless with Lamar, right? I mean, even just sliding in the pocket, he's never bothered by anything around him.
So, look, watching him play is like watching a video game player. It literally is like watching your 8-year-old kid play Madden in the basement, and he has Lamar Jackson, and you drop back in coverage. He's just kind of running around.
Spin move.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny because he never looks panicked. He never looks flustered. Whatever the Jaguars did when it came to coverage, he said, okay, I'll just take this 10 yards or whatever. And he never takes a big shot. Like, that's the big thing. For someone who runs around as much as he does, he never takes a full-on shot.
But don't you think it's what we talked about in the pregame? It's because people are so hesitant to go for the big shot on it because they don't want to get embarrassed because it's going to make them miss.
Yeah, there is something to that. Like I think everyone is kind of they don't want to be a highlight.
They don't want to be on a poster.
So they're trying to figure out how to attack him, and
Let's
he takes advantage.
him.
He takes advantage of that. I mean, it was the easiest. What he had 90 something yards.
97.
Easiest 97 yards you ever seen anybody pick up. Like because it's just a handful of scrambles and design quarterback runs.
By the way, I'm not debating whether the Ravens are better. They won, and they have the best record in the AFC. They deserve those kudos, but the Ravens didn't make McManus miss those 2 field goals. They didn't make Trevor just drop the ball. They didn't make Trevor throw it in bounds, and they didn't make him they were pulling him down, but it was his decision to try to make something out of nothing that caused that turnover as well. So, granted, they made enough plays to win the football game, but the Jags, it wouldn't have mattered who was on the other side.
Yeah, this is all on the Jags tonight.
A lot of self-inflicted. I don't know if it's all.
I think it's all on the Jags.
There was a lot.
I'm giving it all to the Jags.
Well,
look, there's an old saying, like Coach is talking about, more games are lost than won. To me, this felt more like the Jaguars losing than Baltimore winning. And they can take the win, and, look, you give them credit for what they did. But when you have the turnovers, the penalties, the pre-snap penalties, you miss field goals, don't convert in the red zone. Yeah, I mean, they played a part of that. But the turnovers, I mean, Trevor's just running around and just drops the ball. I mean,
dropped it.
I mean, just drop the ball. The first half, you literally gave away 12 points.
Minimum.
12 points.
Well, maybe not minimum, but yeah.
I mean, you're talking about a 12-10 game.
Yeah.
And honestly, even with the missed field goals and stuff, if you don't have the gaff at the end of the half, if you just get 3, you go in, it's 10-3, it's just a different feel. I can tell you watching the team go in, walking in with them, they're deflated, right? They're deflated because they knew they just, frittered away an opportunity to score points.
They finally hit the deep shot to Zay and got down there, and then that.
Yeah. I mean, and McManus is not missing that, right? That's the chip shot of chip shots. If it comes to that, and you never even got a chance to see the ball cross the goal line, and maybe come up with a touchdown there if things are a little bit calmer. All right. Anyway, Tony, thank you for the call. Let's go to Don on the north side. Don, you're next up on the Scoreboard Show. Go ahead, please.
Hey, fellas, how we doing this evening?
All right, what's going on?
It's been a little better, man. I could join the show with you guys with a list of complaints and what I want to talk about, but I'll just try to run down a few points that I made. I said last week, man. Trevor, he's just turnover prone right now. I got a lot of slack from the Facebook media for saying that that he was more of a game manager and not quite an elite quarterback right now, but. Obviously, this is the second week in a row with that. Speaking of second week, as far as the halftime and the red zone, last week it pretty much was similar with the same thing, or if I'm not mistaken, maybe the week before with Travis Etienne getting right back down at the same time when we had the opportunity to get some points. We still squandered that away again, so that's a reoccurring thing. Another point, it was real funny to me. I did see that Trevor Lawrence bought the offensive lineman carts. It didn't seem like to do much. I think they could have probably had the carts on the field. It wouldn't have done much as far as that. With the prime time, as far as that's concerned, us being able to have those spotlight games, we haven't produced. We've only won, if I'm not mistaken, only 2 games all season. I won't be buying another home ticket unless I'm able to see it. So maybe this is just me setting it off from the angry fan perspective from that. And honestly, I think that the defense deserves more credit than what they actually have been given. They've actually been keeping us into the game and game managing, and it's been on the offense that we have not been able to produce the points that have been needed for us to be able to succeed and do that. And it looks like now, as far as everything's concerned, we had a lot of games as far as the last quarter that we were supposed to basically have gimme games or games that we were expected to win, that we ended up not doing it. And at this point, it seems like that we'll be fighting for a wild card spot. If not, you know what I'm saying, division leader, and don't look now, but Houston and the Colts are right on our heels. So I'm just highly disappointed. But at the end of the day, I'm a Jaguar fan through and through, and not a player fan. So all my fans, like, we down right now, but we got to rally right now. So I'll be the first one. Duval.
I'll tell you what. Thank you for the call. Appreciate the quite a filibuster for a minute, and then all of a sudden he took the scenic route and came back to a Duval at the end.
The main thing I disagree with here, and the whole point, and most of it's his personal opinion, right? And that's fine. Is Trevor's not a game manager. Game managers protect the football.
They manage the game, right?
Right. He's the complete opposite of a game manager.
Yeah.
He's a guy with all kinds of crazy kinetic ability that doesn't know when to rein it in sometimes. I think he's the opposite of a game manager. I definitely don't think he's that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, by definition, that would not qualify as a game manager. Game manager understands situation, manages the game,
protects the
football, ball, makes sure the team
points.
Dink and dunk, whatever we got to do.
Always
limits mistakes.
Turn around, hand it off, right? Whatever.
Yeah, that's not that wouldn't qualify. Talented though.
Oh, very. Yeah. We're back in a moment. Plenty to discuss still. Phone lines are still open. A little bit more time to get your calls in. If you don't get in here, by the way, the fifth quarter's coming up whenever we're done. Whenever that is. They're standing by. We've got a little bit more to go here on the Scoreboard Show on Jaguars Radio.
If you're facing cancer, you want a dedicated team working for you. At Baptist MD Anderson Cancer Center, we only focus on cancer. And we partner with one of the largest cancer centers in the world. So you'll have a specialized treatment plan created by our experienced and highly trained oncologists and surgeons, collaborating with one of the country's leading cancer centers. Best of all, we're in North Florida with locations in downtown, Baptist South, and Clay. Appointments at baptistmdanderson.com.
As the official supermarket of the Jacksonville Jaguars, Publix is helping fans gear up for game day with the limited-time Jaguars sub. Piled high with hot deli chicken tenders, boar's head bacon, cheddar cheese, coleslaw, and barbecue mayonnaise on a white sub roll. The Jaguar sub is an easy, delicious meal for any fan. Make it an ultimate game day by ordering the Jaguar sub online for in-store pickup. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Hear that? That's the sound of the 2023 Chevy Silverado's 2.7-liter high-output turbo engine, delivering 430 pounds per foot of torque with no compromised durability. Impressive power, whether you're helping friends move or just moving some friends.
Thanks!
This is the sound of a family with plenty of rear seat room to enjoy the ride. And most importantly, this is the sound of you heading to your local Chevy dealer today for a test drive. Find your Silverado and find new roads. Chevrolet.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey ham, melted cheddar and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The game may be over, but the excitement is just beginning. The Jaguars played a great game, and J-Tech is proud to be part of a community that supports our team. But before we go, let's take a moment to talk about an important part of our community, tradesmen and women. J-Tech believes that everyone deserves the opportunity to learn valuable skills and build a successful career. They're proud to support the Jaguars and our community by offering high-quality trades education. Learn more at jtech.org.
Touchdown at Jaguars away games when you fly nonstop from Jacksonville International Airport. Join the Jaguars in New Orleans and Pittsburgh. Watch them win in Houston and Nashville. All the other Jaguars games are just one short connection away. And if airport parking has you stressed, be sure to visit the Jax Airport website before traveling to the terminal. On it, you'll find information about the status of on-airport parking in real time. See if your favorite areas are available or if you need to call an audible. Visit flyjax.com for more information.
The Jaguars Scoreboard Show continues right now.
We're back. Scoreboard Show continues. Callers all over the place tonight. And after a 23-7 loss like this, it's what you would expect. Mike, what you got?
Absolutely. Out to Murray Hill we go. Jonathan is next up here on the Scoreboard Show. Hi, Jonathan. How are you?
Hey, good evening, guys. When it rains, it pours. You got to pardon my voice. Been screaming and yelling at the game all night long. How you guys doing?
Oh, doing
Hanging
well.
in there, man.
Doing well.
Oh, man, I have to tell you, we were all sitting there, and as soon as those big mega boards said red zone, I turned around and I said, I don't know why they put the red zone flashing in bright red up there. I said, as soon as Trevor sees red zone, I said, it's a different player out there. And everybody's looking at me, and all of a sudden, things went downhill pretty quick in the red zone. I just really want him to be smarter in the red zone. Protect that ball. I mean, you just cannot make some of those mistakes. And I was looking at some of the stats, and some of them it was kind of like the teams were reversed. Baltimore played the game that we would play with the rushing yards, and we kind of played the game that they would play with the passing yards. They had way more rushing than we had, and we had way more passing than they had, and you see the result. It was kind of flipped. Kind of blew my mind a little bit. I just really want Trevor to protect that ball.
Yeah, I think we all do. Yeah. I don't know where the flip. I mean, I would have expected if you told me which team will outrush the other, it'd be Baltimore, and the Jags would outpass the Ravens because that's the way they're built right now. I don't see how the 251-yard rushing performance reminded you anything Jaguar related from this season. But and that's the thing, Buck, too. The defense outplayed the offense tonight, no question about it. But the sum total at the end of the day, out 250 on the ground, you're not going to win very many, if any, NFL games when you do that.
No, because, running the ball allows you to control the tempo and the energy of the game. And the Ravens were able to do that, even though it was a little bit unconventional, particularly coming off the style that we saw him play in previous years under Greg Roman, where there was option read stuff. This was a lot of drop back pass. Lamar takes a lane. All right, I'm taking off. And he would do that. And he did that, but then they cleverly mixed in some zone read, some power read stuff, and they were able to kind of keep you on your heels. But, yeah, anytime you give up over 200 yards on the ground, it's a problem. Regardless of how they derived it and what you were taking, what you wanted to take away, that's way too many rushing yards to surrender.
All right, thank you for the call, Jonathan. Let's welcome in our good friend Sakib here, checking in from Keystone. What's up, Sakib?
Don't ask, I won't tell, right? Like, Sakib understands how the Tennessee Titans fans felt last year when we won the division last year. This feels like we're going to do the same thing what Tennessee did last year, and it's disappointing. It's struggling. It's really bad. I think we're not gonna win the division because that's what we do. We just decided not to stop playing, and now I know how Tennessee Titans fans feel, for what they did last year and how we won it. It's horrible, man. Like I'm disappointed. I'm shocked, and we can't play at home in front of our fans. It's just, our fans show up. We do our thing, and our players don't show up. That's just what it is, man. It sucks. Have a good one, guys.
Thanks, Sakib. Appreciate the call, and it's just not an uncommon feeling around Jaguar land, I think. Buck.
Yeah, I mean, look, it looks bad. It looks bad right now. You're sitting at 86. You lost 3 in a row. You've given away all the cushion that you had when it comes to the division, and so now you got to fight for your playoff lives in terms of winning the division and maybe securing a wild card seat if you don't win the division. But what you're hoping is that this team somehow can find some little things that they can do well and play well enough to win some of these games down the stretch. And they can't worry about the other games. They got to worry about Tampa. And with or without Trevor Lawrence, they got to be ready to play. Defensively, they should be able to keep the score down if they continue to play like this. Offensively, they have to find, and it's so crazy to think, don't know what the offense's identity is. So you don't have an offensive identity, and you only have one big-time playmaker on the outside in Calvin Ridley, and then you have Evan Ingram. That's it. I don't know how many times you can feed 2 guys, but, I mean.
We're about to find out, I think.
But it has to be the ball to them over and over and over again.
And oh, by the way, a lot of teams are dealing with backup quarterbacks, and they're finding ways to win football games.
True.
Houston went into Tennessee today with
Case
Keenum and did it, and they were down big, and they didn't quit, and they finished the thing off. I mean, Aiden O'Connell was a coin flip away from getting benched last week, and he led the Raiders to 63 points 4 days after getting shut out. I'm not saying that every matchup's the same, but there's no one cares if it's Beathard or anybody else out there for the Jags. Other teams are dealing with this. The Bengals are dealing with this, and they're on a hot streak. The Cleveland Browns are dealing with this, and they're on a hot streak, and they're right now.
They're on their fourth quarterback.
The fourth quarterback. Browns are 9 wins. Big comeback win for them today as well. Cincinnati was down 17-3. They came back and won. You got to get it done, man, or this season's going to be over in an eyelash. I mean, a blink of an eye. It's just.
Yeah.
It's all right out there for you.
3 weeks to go. Back in a moment. Final thoughts. Thanks for the calls tonight. This is the Scoreboard Show on Jaguars Radio.
As the official supermarket of the Jacksonville Jaguars, Publix is helping fans gear up for game day with the limited-time Jaguars sub. Piled high with hot deli chicken tenders, boar's head bacon, cheddar cheese, coleslaw, and barbecue mayonnaise on a white sub roll. The Jaguar sub is an easy, delicious meal for any fan. Make it an ultimate game day by ordering the Jaguar sub online for in-store pickup. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Brooks Rehabilitation has more than 50 years of experience serving the North Florida community with cutting-edge rehabilitation care, ranging from joint replacements, sports injuries, and balance issues to traumatic brain injuries, spinal cord injuries, and strokes. Their highly trained clinical teams span across their system of care to include inpatient, outpatient, skilled nursing, assisted living and memory care, home health, and adaptive community programs. Learn more at brooksrehab.org. Brooks is proud to be the rehabilitation provider for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Calling all Jags fans. Is your little one ready to become a junior Jaguar? Now through January 2nd, MyGate rewards loyalty members who buy 2 20-ounce Coca-Cola participating products will be entered to win one of 10 behind-the-scenes experiences at Everbank Stadium for your child. Plus, you'll earn a 10-cent rollback at the pump, a win every time. Fuel your child's dreams, your car, and your passion for the Jags with Gate, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Hey, Jaguars fans, are you tired of being late to the game because you're stuck in traffic looking for a parking space? Well, join the thousands of other Jags fans who already know the smartest way to get to Everbank Field is on JTA's Game Day Express. Shuttles run from 5 locations around Jacksonville. Passes start at $10 and are available exclusively on the MyJTA mobile app. Visit JTAFLA.com for full details. The JTA Game Day Express, where you're winning before the game even starts. Your Game Day Express is sponsored by the Jacksonville Zoo and Gardens.
Restaurant Orsay is a bustling French-American bistro focusing on classic French techniques with their chefs incorporating a traditional Southern influence. Celebrate life's special moments or just relax and enjoy their daily happy hour, weekend brunch, and nightcap on Friday and Saturdays from 10 until midnight. Restaurant Orsay, located in historic Avondale, 3630 Park Street. Visit www.restaurantorsay.com.
It's time for the Make the Holidays Bright sales event at your local Ford dealer. Get special offers on our adventure-ready Ford SUVs or on our great selection of Ford trucks. Choose from a large inventory of Ford vehicles equipped with technology, space, and flexibility for any season. And let Ford make the holidays bright, bringing everyone together. Visit your local Ford dealer today during the Make the Holidays Bright sales event.
Welcome back. It's the Scoreboard Show. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, Bucky Brooks. Let's get the last couple in quick.
All right, let's do it. Cullen is checking in from Orlando. Cullen, you're on the air. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, hey, guys. Just wanted to see what y'all's thoughts were on when are we going to say enough is enough with Press Taylor and go back to letting Dougie P call the plays and go back to really getting back to where we are and let it start going deep. I mean, it seems like every drive that we start actually getting momentum and getting it going, it's like, all right, screenplay, or let's go with a run, and then 3rd and 10, and we go with a stupid play where we try to do a play action. It's like, all right, we already know it's going to be a play action, then we're behind the time, and then it's just we're falling apart. Like, why aren't we opening these play calls back up and letting Trevor really get open and open up that play call again for him?
Appreciate the call. They aren't running the ball worth a damn. That's part of it, no matter who's calling the plays.
Mm-hmm. Offensive line isn't playing great all the way around. I mean, the one they blocked up today, they hit it. Look, but when you say, when are we going to let Doug Pederson take it back over? There's only one guy that has to say, I want it back, and that's Doug Pederson. He can do it at any time. He can do it right now if he wants to. So, we can all sit here and go, press shouldn't be calling plays, but there's only one man's opinion that really matters on that, Bucky.
Yeah, there's only one man's opinion. And you do wonder, like, how long Doug will kind of sit back idly on the sidelines while Press Taylor kind of runs the show. Being on the sideline, it looks like Doug is very active and involved when it comes to what is being called, but it's different than being the 100% full-time play caller.
Right.
That's always going to be the stuff because it appears it doesn't appear the offense has regressed from last year to this year, and so people will want to know, well, Doug, when are you going to fix it? When are you going to jump in?
And even if Press is calling the plays, it's Doug Pederson's signing off on the game plan, right? So if the game plan is we're going to try to get some quick hitters, or we're going to take deep shots or whatever it is. I mean, Doug Pederson, it's not like Doug is abdicating the entire offense in that regard. So.
No, he certainly hasn't given up that. He's deeply involved, and you do wonder when you're evaluating everything, you evaluate the players, the coaches, and the play caller, and maybe he will make a determination. Let me get the call sheet back. I'm going to go.
I mean, like, you could feel it slipping through your fingers, right? I mean, you're the guy. This is your area of expertise. Colin, appreciate the call. We got one more here. RJ is leaving on the road to Tallahassee on I-10 right now, it sounds like. RJ, you're on the Scoreboard Show. Go ahead. RJ, you there?
RJ is on I-10 somewhere.
That feels like an appropriate way to end.
Yeah, let's call it. Let's call it a night. That's it for the show. Next week, Jaguars, Buccaneers, Christmas Eve, 4:00 game, by the way.
Should be fun.
We'll be
all eyes on us.
Yeah, right. We're on the air at 1 o'clock. That's just what we need right now, by the way. We're on the air at 1 o'clock with the Publix Tailgate Show. And then at 3 o'clock, it's Countdown to Kickoff. I believe it's a 4:05 kick, right? Or is it 25?
Let's hope it's 4:05.
I don't remember. It's 05. Thank you, Tony Smith. That'll do it for our show tonight. Thank you for all the calls. A lot to get to this week on Jaguars Today from 10 to 12 on 1010XL.
Oh, yeah.
A lot to get to on Jaguars Happy Hour tomorrow. Pete Briscoe and Tony Baselli. Woo. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Bucky, you'll have a lot to talk about this week, too, with all the playoff pushes and everything.
Yeah, but I'll be on to Tampa Bay. I won't touch on this.
Okay, moving forward.
Move forward.
Tampa Bay.
We are certainly on to Tampa Bay. Thanks to our entire crew, the Fortunato clan, Donna Murphy, Tony Smith. I'm JP Shadrick. Thank you for listening. The fifth quarter is next.